Let's use Cloudpager's Cloudpaging AI feature, which is AI packaging, to create some application containers for us. To do this, I will click Add Application, and we can see there's several different options, but we'll start with the Package from Winget option in the middle. I will select 7-zip from the list, and at this point I can modify the application metadata and information before I publish. This is optional, of course. If you would like to just leave it as the default settings, you can do that, but you might want to set a short description, perhaps change the name, give it a nice tile image, and that kind of thing. So once happy with it, I'll publish this application, and then I'll just confirm. Now, this is a workflow you might be familiar with if you have seen our AI packaging before. However, a new way for doing this, the option for Provide Installer that you will see within the Add Application option. So let's select this to walk through it. I'm going to click Continue, and you will see we are prompted to drag and drop a file here or else browse out. I have this application, FileZilla, and this is a setup.exe. So I'm just going to drag and drop that onto the window. And then you'll see I get prompted to fill in that application metadata similar to the 7-zip application that we just did. So I'll give this the application name, version, publisher. I'll set a nice tile image. I could set a description again, but you'll see this additional option here for installer switches. So if you want to install the application a certain way and customize how the application is installed and handled by the AI packaging service, you can do that there. I'm just going to stick with the default install for this package. And you'll see if I go back to the applications tab within Cloudpager that the application packaging using Cloudpaging AI is now underway. And at this point, as an administrator, I don't have to do anything else. AI packaging is working away in the background, and it's going to create these application containers for us. In the interests of not keeping everyone looking at loading screens, I can edit the video to speed this part up, but this process typically takes just a few minutes. With AI packaging complete its work and those applications now published and available in our applications within the Cloudpager tenant, let's go ahead and actually provision or publish these applications to some employees. And for this, we're going to go to Storefronts and add a new storefront. We're going to select the App Attach storefront option, and we're going to enter a storefront name, enter a good description, and then I'm going to enter in a valid subscription ID from my Azure tenant where I have App Attach and Azure Virtual Desktop already configured. Upon populating the subscription ID, we will see that the resource group drop-down menu becomes available, so I'll select a resource group and a valid host pool I would like to associate with. Then it's simply a case of adding some applications. So we will add the 7-zip application that Cloudpaging AI packaged for us from the Winget list of applications. We'll add FileZilla, which was that exe that we uploaded in AI packaging created for us. And I'll just add a normal Cloudpaging application container that's published in my Cloudpager tenant, which is Putty. Once ready, I can click Publish, but before I proceed, I would like to show you if I go to my actual Azure tenant and go to App Attach, that I already have some applications available within my App Attach, but we're going to see in just a few moments after we publish that those additional applications, the Putty, the FileZilla, and the 7-zip, will become available over here in App Attach. And to proceed, maybe I'll put in a comment which will be stored for auto tracking purposes. They'll see that, Rory Monaghan published this storefront at this time on this day, and this comment can also be referenced within Cloudpager. Well, that's it. That's how simple adding a new App Attach storefront is. And now if I go back to my Azure tenant and I just refresh, we will see those applications have appeared and become available here. So at this point, I can use the Azure entitlement process within Azure and assign these applications. So for example, in 7-zip, if I go to users and just maybe add a Entra ID security group, such as my temp contractors group here, I can assign this App Attach application over to my employees who are in that group. If I wanted to, I could also modify the host pools. I can assign additional host pools if I wish. For this demonstration, I'll just leave it at the single host pool. So I'll go ahead now and just add my FileZilla and also my PuTTY. Similar workflow, I'm just going to manage the users and assign to my temp contractors group, and then just add that for PuTTY as well. I will speed up this part of the video since you've already seen this part of the process. Perfect. With those applications assigned to that temp contractors group and associated with that Windows 11 host pool that I have, let's go and actually try this out now. So I'm going to go launch into a Windows 11 multi-session Azure Virtual Desktop that is in that host pool. We could see this desktop is within the Windows app, and I'll connect and it's going to launch me into a session. Now, as quickly as I can, I'll launch into our client software, Cloudpaging Player on the desktop, and you'll see that the applications are already available because as I logged in, those applications are added right away. But I can now go and launch the application, say from the start menu. For example, I can launch PuTTY, and you'll see that PuTTY is running indeed as a container. Likewise, I can launch FileZilla. I can launch applications like you just saw from Cloudpaging Player. That is an option, but you can also see that FileZilla is available within the start menu like the other applications too. And I also have 7-zip as an application there as well. The Cloudpaging Player can be run headerless mode. Users do not have to see it. They could just get their shortcuts on their desktop and start menu. And also, if you want to use things like file type associations, context menus, and shell extensions, those are available too. So this AI packaged version is 7-zip. The right-click options are available, and the application is fully functioning. All without having to do any of the packaging work myself, getting the latest applications automatically packaged for me using AI packaging that leverages a language model built up with intelligence and expertise from our team over more than a decade to teach it how to optimally package applications into the Cloudpaging application container format. And once applications are delivered as containers, you eliminate application install failures, application update issues, unclean uninstalls, application conflicts, and more. To learn more, check out numecent.com and also check out some of our other great videos.